It's the Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and fill your mind.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Wednesday, January 25th, and this is the Morning Star Drive on 117.8. We're on YouTube, so make sure to subscribe, follow us on SoundCloud, and make sure to support us on Patreon. So what is happening on this wonderful Wednesday? We've got current news from around the world, the word study on the book of Chronicles, and of course, Health is Happiness with Dr. Zinni from Canada. All right, everyone, how are you doing? It is Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. Super thankful for all of you joining us here on the Morning Star Drive to start your day. Wednesday service tonight. Really hope all of you are looking forward to receiving some grace and fire. And make sure to pray for your head leaders as they are making these messages. Just want to remind everyone, if you're on your phone right now, go ahead, click that like button. Just smash it, whether you're on SoundCloud or YouTube. Hit that button and also comment. I want to hear from you guys. See how you're doing. Right now is that time all of us can communicate even more. Questions, requests, testimonies, comments, everything. I'd love to hear it. Let's build this community. Q&A Thursday is tomorrow. Already some questions coming in. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments or DM me also. Would love to help you out. And I know that a lot of these questions, maybe many of us are having the same questions. It's great that we can actually share these questions and answers together, right? For me, it's a wonderful day in Bali, and I hope you are also having a wonderful week in your respective countries. Today, I am heading out to a bird sanctuary, not a sanctuary, like a bird park, and it's going to be a very relaxing time for my parents. Our last day here in this city, this town called Ubud, which is in the forest area. Tomorrow, we're going to head over to the ocean side too, so I'm super excited about that. But what I'm really excited about is we're going to go for some luwak coffee today. Luwak is the world's most exclusive and most expensive coffee. The main factor of why it's so expensive and uncommon because of the method of production, and it's produced from coffee beans which have been partially digested by the Indonesian palm civet. It looks like a raccoon and cat, and then it's excreted. Yeah, they poo it out. So yes, it sounds kind of gross, but don't worry, the outer layer of the coffee bean is removed during processing, and the remaining beans are completely clean before roasting, and then you get to drink this coffee, but it's supposed to be amazing. This kopi luwak, kopi is coffee, obviously. Luwak coffee is not the type of coffee, it's just the process of how you make it. So I'm excited to taste this. That's one of the things I really wanted to taste during this trip over here in Bali, or just, this is the original and best location for luwak, right? And beans, thank God, are medium roasted because, man, I'm having a really hard time with the coffee here. Everything is dark roast. I'm not sure what the heck is going on, why they like dark roast. Everything tastes burnt. Yeah, it's making my trip worse, that all the coffee here is dark roast. I can't stand it, to be honest, right? Today, also, I'm going to go to a spa, and it'll be a mother-son getting a facial together. Yes, we are. And of course, we've been out in the sun all day, so we need to get that moisturizing and cleansing that we need. So this will be our last day today at this resort, and we'll head out to the ocean side tomorrow morning. And it'll be good to see something new going out to the ocean. Very happy about this also. And for me, I think one of the big things that I really realized is just seeing my parents so relaxed and happy brings me a lot of joy. And I really feel there's a lot of memories from here, pictures that we've taken that both me and my parents we're going to cherish for the rest of our life, obviously. And I think the big thing that I realized is, those 17 years I spent just running Providence all around the world, different countries and such. When God says that whatever you give up, God will give you back, right? Even more. I realized that God is giving me a chance to capture back some of the lost time from those 17 years of running, and think about this. I was able to live with him for 10 months in Vancouver, just spending time with him, able to take this vacation together for 3 weeks. And, this time together and living with them for 10 months, I feel like it would make up all the time because, let's just say that I stayed in Vancouver or whatever it is. It's not like I'd be seeing them every day, right? Like I'd be running for church and all these other different things, but here I am spending all this time with my parents, and it feels like it's just making up for all the lost time. And I'm so thankful to God that he gave back that time. Now, my next thought is I need to make up the time that I haven't been running for this history and spending time with my parents and everything else. So now it's really the best time for me to, now that I've spent this time with my parents and just another week with them, now it's going to be time for me to get back into running, probably start lecturing again, maybe doing some what do you call it, some online lecturing for people in Southeast Asia, maybe something along that line that we can get a lot of people to come in for this too. So I'm really, really excited about this to get myself back into lecturing. Prayer podcast, guys. Episode 2 is coming out today, right? It's going to come out a little bit later than usual. I decided to move the prayer podcast further in the day because it's too close to the time where the Morning Star Drive podcast comes out. So some people are getting confused whether this is the podcast or not. So when I looked at the numbers, even from last week, a lot of people didn't watch the normal numbers, didn't watch the Wednesday podcast because they thought the prayer podcast was the Wednesday podcast. So I'm going to send it a little bit later than usual, right? Health is happiness. Today, of course, we know that Julius is not doing it anymore. However, he is actually gathering doctors together to make more episodes. So today, he was able to talk to Dr. Zinni from Canada, very, very good friend of mine, and she's just amazing. She just got a new kid last year, and today she's going to talk about anxiety. So I'm super, super thankful that she's able to do this. And these are professional, these are real doctors that are going to talk about these things too. And of course, for me too, I think it's something that I really need, especially before I start getting myself back into to lecturing and stuff. I got a little bit of anxiety from going back into it after not teaching for so long, right? So that is something that I'm really, really looking forward to. All right. So today's poll, how is the poll going? Poll's going really well. How many hours do you pray per week? Right? And the vast majority, 46%, is about 2 to 3 hours. And then you have 46% at 2 to 3 hours, 22% at less than an hour, 17% at 5 to 6 hours, 10% says don't ask, and 5% at over 7 hours, which is like an hour a day, right? So remember, this includes not just pre-dawn, it includes the prayers that you have during the day and stuff like that too. So I hope that you don't think it's only pre-dawn time. But, it gives you an idea of what the condition of the world is right now. But also, what I talked about yesterday when it comes to the mentality of in a time of tribulation, it's going to be hard. Like if you're used to doing 40 minutes in the past per day, when tribulation comes, it's going to be hard. It's going to be even harder just to do the 40 minutes. So I do think it's something that we have to take into consideration even more. All right. So there it is. So that is the poll. Hope you guys continue to leave your comments and, you can write in the poll how you guys have been doing with your prayers in the average per week. All right. So let's get into some music from member artists from around the world. And today's feature artist of the day is going to be from Korea. The Paper Music Associates has Man in Groom. He's a rapper doing an awesome job. This song is called Cold Summer, one of my favorite songs from him. Then we have the Sumney Boys from America with Partners in Crime. And then we'll end things off with one of these the GGG songs that we played. This is Jucinda from Canada, and she wrote this song when she was fairly new, and it's sung by PB, so I hope you guys will like it. This is a great, great production value. This is You're My Heaven. I really like this song, all right? So everyone, please make sure that you pray for all these member artists from around the world.
기대되는 휴가 여름철만 다가오면 짜증나는 더위 끈적끈적한 여름엔 필요해 차가운 아이스크림 같은 한여름밤의 꿈 빨리 안 먹으면 녹아서 끈적끈적해져 like hot summer with mosquito 뜨거운 여름만 다가오면 싫지만 괜스레 두근대는 이 기분은 뭘까 요즘 비가 오면 듣는 빗소리가 좋아 요즘 짝을 찾는 매미 소리도 좋아 시끄러운 매미 소리 밑에 가려진 매미들의 숨가쁜 사랑 노래 괜스레 얼굴이 빨개져 뜨거운 태양처럼 이젠 기대돼 다가올 여름이
여름밤은 너무 더워 우릴 살려줘 열대야가 우릴 삼켜서 we will go 집에서 에어컨은 냉방병 걸려 갈 사람 저요 갈 사람 너요 여름밤은 너무 더워 우릴 살려줘 열대야가 우릴 삼켜서 we will go 집에서 에어컨은 냉방병 걸려
끝에 조금 처해지는 한 서머데이 떠나볼까 젊은 날에 좋은 자리 있으면 좀 잡아도 꽉 막힌 도로여도 오늘은 기분이 설레네 계획은 딱히 없고 몇 시간 달린 후에 바닷가에 시원하게 발부터 담가보자고 파도를 삼켜 또 모래성을 쌓아 석양 아래 바다 와 모래알이 너무 예쁜걸 느새 떠윈 잊었고 굳이 여자 없이 우리끼리 또 즐겁네 그래도 저기 걸어오는 너희는 너무나 예쁜 거 아쉬움 뒤로 한 채 우리 내년에 기약하자고
여름밤은 너무 더워 우릴 살려줘 열대야가 우릴 삼켜서 we will go 집에서 에어컨은 냉방병 걸려 갈 사람 저요 갈 사람 너요 여름밤은 너무 더워 우릴 살려줘 열대야가 우릴 삼켜서 we will go 집에서 에어컨은 냉방병 걸려 갈 사람 저요 갈 사람 너요
It's you I dream of, Lord. I long for your embrace. With love you've led me here, ever thankful for this grace. Let me feel you, Lord, I pray. Fill my heart with your heart. Let my spirit in yours embrace. in the passion of your fire. My bridegroom, break me, heal me, restore me, my Lord. Please make of me your masterpiece, a bride of love and joy. Oh, my love, shape me, perfect me, free me from my sins. Let me live with you forevermore in your kingdom. I just wanna be your eternal love. You're my heaven. I know I've hurt you, Lord, brought you pain beyond compare. I failed in many ways, your heart I rip and tear. But Lord, you've shown me grace in every circumstance. You've forgiven my disgrace. You gave me one last chance to show you that I love you. I need you. I thank you, my Lord. I long to be your hands and feet, a bride of love and joy. Oh, my love, to know you and feel you. You're my everything. I just wanna be your eternal love. You're my heaven, my love. I wanna show you how I love you, how I need you, my Lord. I long to be your hands and feet, a bride of love and joy. Oh, my Lord, I love you, I miss you. You're my everything. I just wanna be your eternal love. You're my heaven. I love you, Lord, forevermore. Holy Son Jesus, my bridegroom, I love you. You're in me, I'm in you. My bridegroom, I love you. You're in me, I'm in you.
And that was You're My Heaven. That's written by Jacinda from Canada. She sent this entry in for the GGG, but it's a great song. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. That's obviously sung by PB. You're My Heaven. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Before that, Somebody Boys from America with Partners in Crime. And of course, the feature artist of the day, that's Man and Groom from PMA in Korea with Cold Summer. All right, so let's get into some news going on around the world. Very, very important, especially if we're going to pray for the world, we're going to repent for the world, we really got to know what's going on. So let's first start off with Japan. Right? So the Japanese Prime Minister says the country is on the brink over falling birth rate. Japan's Prime Minister says his country is on the brink of not being able to function as a society because of its falling birth rate. Fumio Kishida said it was a case of now or never. Japan, population right now is about 125 million people, is estimated to have had fewer than 800,000 births last year. In the 70s, that figure was more than 2 million. Birth rates are slowing in many countries, including Japan's neighbors, but the issue is particularly acute in Japan as life expectancy has risen in recent decades, meaning there are a growing number of older people and a declining number of workers to support them. Japan now has the world's second highest proportion of people aged 65 and over, about 28% of their population, after the tiny state of Monaco, according to World Bank data. Japan is standing on the verge of whether we can continue to function as a society. This is what Mr. Kishida told lawmakers. focusing attention on policies regarding children and child rearing is an issue that cannot wait and cannot be postponed. He said that he eventually wants the government to double its spending on child-related programs. A new government agency to focus on the issue would be set up in April, he added. However, Japanese governments have tried to promote similar strategies before without success. In 2020, researchers projected Japan's population to fall from a peak of 128 million in 2017 to less than 53 million by the end of the century if it continues in this way. Think about that, guys. 128 million to 53 million by the end of the century, which is less than half, right? That's how bad the falling birth rate is. Japan has continued implementing strict immigration laws despite some relaxations, but some experts are now saying that the rules should be loosened further to help tackle its aging society. Falling birth rates are driven by a range of factors, including rising living costs, more women in education and work, as well as greater access to contraception, leading to women choosing to have fewer children. Last week, China reported its first drop in population for 60 years. So that is a huge thing. South Korea and Japan are two of the worst birth rates in the world for the OECD countries. These are for like the advanced countries, but man, it's not a good sign. Think about that. By the end of the century, Japan's going to be cut in more than half of its population will be gone. That's not a good sign, right? In second news, Pakistan power cut, major cities without electricity after grid breakdown. Pakistan suffered a huge power cut early on Monday following a breakdown in its national grid, leaving millions of people without electricity. Power was out in all the country's major centers, including the biggest city, Karachi, the capital, Islamabad, as well as Lahore and Peshawar. Power Minister Kurum Dastagur said the grid failure followed a frequency variation in southern Pakistan, and he insisted this was not a major crisis and power would be back soon. Pakistan often suffers from power cuts, which are blamed on mismanagement and a lack of investment in infrastructure. The last major blackout in October took hours to restore. In a statement, the Energy Ministry said that at about 7:30 a.m. local time, the grid experienced a loss of frequency that caused a major breakdown, adding that swift work was taking place to revive the system. Some grids in the country had already been restored, and Mr. Dastagir said he told Reuters news agency that power would be restored by 2200 local time. And he also told GeoTV that parts of the electricity were turned off overnight because of the demand for energy during winter was less than in summer, when much of the country experiences very high temperatures and people use air conditioning and fans. And, it's a big thing right now. Like, a lot of people are talking about going to, like my dad, I had a conversation with my dad. Electric cars, everyone wants electric cars, but if you think about it, do we even have the infrastructure to hold all these, like to power up all these electric cars? Look at what California's doing. They're trying to get everyone to electric car. There's not enough power, right? Sometimes they have to tell people you are not allowed to power your cars. That's pretty crazy, right? So this basically means that across the country, traffic lights went down, fans stopped all over Pakistan, rapid transit trains, right, suspended because of the power cut. And this is something that people have to think about. We need a better power source because the power sources that we're using right now are bad for the environment also, right? So when you think about, electric cars are so much better, what it takes to power these electric lines, it is actually causing harm to the environment, right? So that is something that we do have to take into consideration. I really, really hope that as a human race and as we pray to God, God will give us even better ways to power our cars, power our cities and stuff like that, because it is not good at the moment, all right? So that's the second news. Let's go into the third news, which is Russia and their ties with Estonia. And Russia seems to be downgrading their ties with Estonia, and they expel the ambassador. So the first time since its invasion of Ukraine began, Moscow expels an ambassador of an EU country. Russia has downgraded diplomatic relations with Estonia and ordered its ambassador to leave, citing the Baltic nations' total Russophobia. Moscow's move on Monday marks the first time it has expelled an ambassador of an EU country since the invasion of Ukraine began on February 24th. The Russian side decided to downgrade the diplomatic representative in both countries to charge in both countries, and the foreign ministry said in a statement the ambassador of the Estonian Republic will have to leave the federation by February 7th. The measures follow Estonia's decision to drastically reduce staff levels at Russia's embassy in Tallinn. Now, responding to Russia's decision, Estonia on Monday said it would also expel the Russian ambassador from Tallinn in retaliation, and they said, we stand by the principle of parity in relations with Russia, the Estonian Ministry of Foreign Affairs said in a tweet. In a January 11th statement, Estonian Foreign Minister Urmas Reinsalu outlined plans to ease relations with Russia to the absolute minimum. Estonian Ambassador Margus Laidre was informed of the decision after being summoned to the foreign ministry in Moscow. The ministry said as it accused Estonia of purposefully destroying relations with Moscow. Russia slammed Estonia's total Russophobia and the cultivation of hostility by Tallinn to the rank of state policy. Now, commenting on the downgrading of ties, Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova said the Estonian government got what it deserved. All right, so that is a top 3 news around the world. Hope it's something that will help you guys out when it comes to us praying for the world. All right, let's go into some sporting news. And Australian Open, the tennis tournament happening. Novak Djokovic, 21-time Grand Slam champion who looked indomitable during a 3-0 win over number 22 seed Alex de Minaur of Australia and declared that his bothersome left hamstring is no longer an issue. So he's moving on to the quarterfinals. And the U.S., this is a great showing. We have 3 U.S. men in the Australian Open quarters. So the 89th ranked Ben Shelton he's only 20 years old, I believe, meets another unseeded American, 35th ranked Tommy Paul, who eliminated number 24 seed Roberto Bautista Agut of Spain, and completing the trio is Sebastian Corda. So it's quite interesting to see how the Americans have 3 in the quarterfinals, but big favorite, it is Novak Djokovic. On second news, in the NBA, trades are starting. Boston Celtics sent Noah Vonleh to the San Antonio Spurs to lower their luxury tax bill. Vonleh was immediately waived by the San Antonio Spurs. And also, Lakers making their first trade, agreed to deal. They acquire Washington Wizards forward Rui Hachimura for Kendrick Nunn and 3 second-round picks. So there is a big boost because they need some taller and bigger players on the Lakers squad. But we'll see if that's going to make a real big dent in their play anyways. In soccer news, Mbappe, 5 goals for PSG in a 7-0 French Cup win. Kylian Mbappe scores 5 goals, including a 12-minute hat-trick in the first half as PSG won 7-0 at amateur team Pays de Cassel in the French Cup on Monday to set up a round of 16 match at bitter rival Marseille. It was the first hat-trick since France's World Cup final defeat to Argentina on December 18th, and it took Mbappe's tally to 25 goals in 24 games this season and moved him to 196 overall for PSG, 4 short of Edinson Cavani's club record. Mbappe became the first PSG player to score 5 goals in a competitive match. In the EPL, Harry Kane becomes Tottenham's joint leading scorer with winner against Fulham. Harry Kane became Tottenham's joint all-time record goal scorer with the winner in his side's 1-0 victory at Fulham in the Premier League on Monday. Tottenham had been second best in the first half at Craven Cottage, but Kane produced a trademark finish on the stroke of halftime to notch his 266th goal for the Londoners. Kane's effort drew him level with the late Jimmy Greaves, whose 266 goals came in 379 games. England skipper Kane reached the total in 415 appearances. All right, so there it is, guys. That is the top 3 news in sports and news from around the world. Hope you guys really enjoy that and helps you guys out with your prayers. But you know what that means? It is the golden time. Yes, this is the golden time, a time of praise and worship to the Holy Trinity. Hope all of you guys are looking forward to giving glory to God and the Holy Spirit. So, what are we going to praise and worship today? Today we're going to start off with a song I really think everyone needs right now, which is Unshaken by the Wind. And everyone, stay strong and stay firm. It's going to be a rough year, but I know that all of us can push through. Secondly, we have I Have Only God, and we'll end things off with Let's Preach the Words of Life. So as one body of the Morning Star Drive, let's spend this time giving praise, honor, and glory to the Holy Trinity.
those who do not shake, although the wind may blow, know I love you. I've always loved you so. Through heavy storms and rain, your heart remains the same. My love for you stays true. It'll never change. Let's not forget the memories we shared in the past. Just like the clouds will cross the blue sky, they all come to mind. And if they fall, let's raise them up and help them to go on. Surely He works through you. The Lord is with you. To those who do not shake, although the wind may blow, know I loved you. I've always loved you so. Through heavy storms and rain, your heart remains the same. My love for you stays true. It'll never change. Let's not forget the memories we shared in the past. Just like the clouds flow across the blue sky, they all come to mind. And if they fall, let's raise them up and help them to go on. Surely He works through you. The Lord is with you. God speaks to us through creation's words, so act on His words before it's too late. One star runs out, your spirits too will fall into the night. Your bride for all time. From all the world you've chosen me, and now I have firmly set my mind. I will certainly live according to your will. Mighty God, I am yours to love evermore. Mighty God, I am yours, your bride for all time. From all the world you've chosen me, and now I have firmly set my mind. So I certainly will fulfill your will, my God. You're my Jehovah God, who has led me this far. Please lead me all the way. I'm calling on you alone, and living by only your word. With all your authority and your power, you constantly help me. With all your authority and your power, you keep me from harm. You are with me all the time, always giving me strength and hope. I've nothing to fear, because I only look to my God. You're my Jehovah God, who has led me this far. Please lead me all the way. I'm calling on you alone, and living by only your word. With all your authority and your power, you constantly help me. With all your authority and your power, you keep me from harm. You are with me all the time, always giving me strength and hope. I've nothing to fear, because I only look to my God. With all your authority and your power, you constantly help me. With all your authority and your power, you keep me from harm. With all your authority and your power, you constantly help me. With all your authority and your power, you keep me from harm. You are with me all the time, always giving me strength and hope. Have nothing to fear, because I only look to my God. Have nothing to fear, because I only look to my God. Have nothing to fear, because I only look to my God. time, let us arise. Rise up, shine your light. Preach the new word of life to every soul in the world. Truth is on fire, so we are blazing. Giving all our youth, giving all our youth. We are captured perfectly only through love. We have gained heaven called the city. Let us all go and preach the Lord's word of life. Though we may be weak at the start, we will surely bear fruit in the end. Let us send forth all the people of mission, spread the gospel to all the world. And as we teach, we'll fulfill the will, God's purpose for mankind. Youthful ones of this time, let us arise. Rise up, shine your light. Preach the new word of life to every soul in the world. Truth is on fire, so we are blazing. Giving all our youth, giving all our youth. We are captured perfectly only through love. We have gained heaven's golden city. Truth is on fire, so we are blazing. Giving all our youth, giving all our youth. We are captured perfectly only through love. We have gained heaven's golden city. We have gained heaven's golden city. We have gained heaven's golden city.
And that was Let's Preach the Words of Life. Before that, I Have Only God, and of course, that big classic, Unshaken by the Wind. All right? So now that our hearts and our minds are made ready through the time of praise and worship, let's get into today's word study. And of course, this week's message is on the book of Chronicles, 2 Chronicles chapter 18 of the story of Jehoshaphat. And I want to get into more of a Jewish perspective, right? So I found a website that we talk about Jewish learning about the book of Chronicles, right? So we'll get a kind of, a detailed account of what this book is really about. And for those of you guys who don't know, this is the final book of the Bible in the Talmud, which is like the Hebrew Bible. Okay, so it's the last book of the Hebrew Bible, according to the ordering in the Talmud. And in most printings of the Bible, of course, you're going to find the division of like First Chronicles and Second Chronicles. And actually, the very first time they actually split First Chronicles and Second Chronicles, it used to be one book before, but they split it when the Septuagint was made. So those of you guys don't know the Septuagint, I did talk about this in the past before, it is the Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible, right? So that was done sometime around the 2nd or 3rd century BC, right? And I was telling you guys before that it was a very, very important part of the New Testament because most people in the world spoke Greek and not Hebrew, right? And even a lot of Hebrews stopped speaking Hebrew and they were speaking Greek because that was like the language of the world kind of thing, kind of like English today, right? So Chronicles is generally considered to have been written, the Septuagint was done in the 2nd or 3rd century BCE. Okay, so that's BC. But Chronicles is generally considered to have been written in the 5th century BCE and is therefore one of the latest books of the Hebrew Bible. The author of Chronicles evidently had access to most of the earlier books of the Bible, including Samuel and Kings, from which the book draws much of its material. Okay, so Chronicles retells the story of the Israelite Jewish people, and briefly it summarizes the history until the reign of King David, and then focusing on the reigns of David, Solomon, and the later kings of Judea. And it largely omits any mention of the kings of the northern kingdom of Israel, right? So it's very, very focused on the southern Judah. But Chronicles does not simply retell the narrative of the Davidic kings. Chronicles has its own particular view of Israel's history to tell, in which particular events and groups are highlighted while other events are de-emphasized. right? So one aspect of this phenomenon is the fact that Chronicles never mentions the exodus from Egypt. If you guys think about that, that's kind of interesting, right? One passage in particular, the story of Ephraim's son was born in Canaan, suggests that the chronicler, the person who wrote the book of Chronicles, does not think that all of the children of Israel were in Egypt. So the period of the wandering in the desert and giving of the Torah also do not figure prominently, right? It's not in Chronicles. So it's not a prominent thing in the story. So Chronicles also doesn't focus on the Babylonian exile. All periods when the Israelites did not live in the land of Israel are de-emphasized. So on the other hand, Chronicles is very clearly emphasizing the two dynastic political institutions of Judea, the Davidic monarchy and the temple. And it highlights the covenant that God made with David and describes David and his descendants as sitting on the throne of the Lord. So David and Solomon are idealized, and the period of their reign is described in glorious terms. The story of Solomon's succession highlights this idealization. David is described as announcing to all of Israel that God has chosen Solomon as David's successor, right? So God has chosen Solomon not only as David's successor, but also as the builder of the temple. So during this announcement, David is described as publicly giving Solomon the plans for the building of the temple, including a detailed accounting of the amount of gold to be used in making the temple's vessels. All this in writing from God upon me. That's in 1 Chronicles chapter 28, verse 19. And in particular, David and Solomon are held responsible for establishing the divisions of the priests and Levites who work in the temple, as well as the order of songs to be sung, an order which later kings are charged to uphold. So this conception of David's role in ordering the temple finds parallels in Nehemiah's description of the temple, which seems to be characteristic of the post-exilic period. So Chronicles goes to great lengths to describe the genealogies of the temple workers whom David appointed, and genealogies of the early Israelites are also described in detail. Right? So being a summary of Israelite history until the time of King David, the summary consists almost entirely of genealogies. So it seems that the Chronicles' focus on connection with the land, monarchy, temple, genealogy reflects the concerns of society in the land of Israel during the return to Zion period, right? So in the attempt to reestablish itself after the wrenching and disorienting experience of the Babylonian exile, institutions that highlighted stability and permanence were uppermost in the minds of the Jewish community. So thus, the chronicler describes the history of the most glamorous period of Israel's earlier history by emphasizing the aspects which has the most concern to the Jews of his time. Okay, so when you look at the law and religion, an additional concept that you'll see that's very, very emphasized in Chronicles, many more times in Chronicles than in the parallel passages in Samuel or Kings, is the concept of the Torah, right? The law. So God is described as having promised David that his dynasty will endure if his descendants follow God's Torah. This replaces the formulation, walk before God, in the parallel passage in, like, say, 1 Kings. In this passage, as in many others, the concept of a set divine Torah is highlighted, and this is also a concept that is central to the Jews of the return to Zion period. The leaders of the return, Ezra and Nehemiah, seek to ensure that all the returnees know God's laws as canonized in the Torah and organized public readings of the Torah. Right? You'll find that in the book of Nehemiah, chapter 8. Now, in retelling earlier Israelite history, the chronicler emphasizes or reformulates concepts in such a way that they are more directly relevant to the Jews of his time. Right? Remember, we're talking about somewhere in the 5th century BC. So in describing the careers of the later kings of Judea, Chronicles places particular emphasis on their religious acts, on the questions of their obedience to God and his prophets, and the rejection of idolatry. So one of the kings who led a movement for religious reform, Hezekiah, one of the 3 great kings of Israel, therefore occupies a prominent place in 2nd Chronicles, right? And Hezekiah's reign is described from chapter 29 to 32, right, the 2nd Chronicles, and the order in which Chronicles narrates his reign is particularly interesting. First, the chronicler describes Hezekiah as gathering the priests immediately after he ascended to the throne and ordering them to purify the temple from idolatry and neglect. Hezekiah then orders all of Israel to come and participate in the Passover sacrifice. This is a central activity of a religious reform in which the Israelites abandon idolatry and turn once more to God and to his temple. Finally, as a result of Hezekiah's reforms, the Assyrians who came to threaten and attack Jerusalem are rebuffed. Right? So religious reforms are thus the cause of Jerusalem's salvation, and this interpretation of political events is common in Chronicles. Political success is the result of extirpating idolatry, obeying God's Torah and his prophets, and honoring his temple. And we'll find similar interpretations in Chronicles' narrative of the war of Rehoboam, Jeroboam, and in his narrative of King Jehoshaphat's war, which is the one that we're talking about too. And Chronicles also offers a new perspective on how religious and cultic acts are to be done, emphasizing the use of music in the temple service and speaking of sacrifices being done with joy. Right? So this is very, very interesting because this is something that I have been kind of thinking about also, because when you have like 1 Kings and 2 Kings, and then after you have 1 Chronicles, 2 Chronicles, you wonder to yourself, why does the Bible put, like, they're basically, Kings and Chronicles are almost the exact same thing. You're like going over the exact same thing over and over again. But when you realize from the Jewish perspective what the difference is between Chronicles and Kings, and how Chronicles emphasizes and de-emphasizes certain things, right? What do we hear so far? Well, Chronicles definitely emphasizes the time that people were living in the Holy Land. It de-emphasizes any time outside, like the Exodus, like like certain times where Moses was in the desert of Zin receiving the Torah or the Ten Commandments and stuff like that too. It de-emphasizes those points, but it's mainly about what is happening when they were in the Holy Land. Right? And when you realize that it was written 5th century BC, then this is a time right before, it's after the time of the Babylonian captivity, before the time of Malachi. So it's kind of sitting there in their time with Nehemiah and Ezekiel, and that's after they're coming back. And the people's interest back then is getting back to the basics of faith, right? So it clearly emphasizes the two dynastic political institutions of Judea, the Davidic monarchy and the temple, and it highlights the covenant that God made with David and describes David and his descendants as sitting on the throne of the Lord. Right? It really emphasizes the Torah, right? So when you look at all these other different things here, it's very, very interesting, and it's something that we have to look at and say, so this is the difference between Kings and Chronicles and even Samuel, right? It almost feels like you're rereading the exact same thing, but when you realize it from the Jewish perspective, you're seeing that, so it is emphasizing, de-emphasizing, it's something that was more for the people in 500 BC. That makes a lot more sense now. And it makes a lot more sense to me too, that the Jewish people can see the difference between the two, and it has a very, very important part when we're reading these books too. Okay, so there it is, guys. That is the word study for today on the book of Chronicles, and I hope it kind of opens your mind to the difference between these things that we're seeing, right? Why we're reading Chronicles and why it's important, why they have a second reading of basically Kings and Samuel, right? So I hope that really helps you guys out with that too. All right, so there it is, guys. That is the word study for today. Hope it's something that you guys really enjoyed going to the book of Chronicles, which means we're going to get into song of choice for today, which is GGG, Day 25, and we got a praise song from Renee Lai. She also has a SoundCloud channel called HIM, and it's all praise songs that she's recording. I hope you guys really enjoyed. This is a GGG, where she sings the praise song in Taiwanese. This song is I Won't Leave You.
我内心越加深刻，了解的越深，就越能领受炽热的内心。我内心越加坚定，经历的越多，就越能体会圣洁的盼望。不求路途平坦，只期盼行走长路，是因为那里有你。发自我灵魂真心的告白，我不会变心，会更加确信。绝对不会离开你，会一直守护你走到底。 真心祈祷，我不会变心，守护你到底。我好感激，好感谢你，我好爱你。我真心祈祷，我不会变心，守护你到底。
And that was Renee Lai from Taiwan. Once again, big congratulations to her and her baby boy. I see a lot of babies, so cute. I see it on Instagram all the time. But big congratulations to her. She's doing an amazing and awesome job. She's recording even when she has a baby, which is very, very tough. Husband's doing a good job there, taking care of the baby while she is recording. But that is a praise song, I Won't Leave You. Hope you guys really enjoyed it. That was in Taiwanese. And, we're giving glory. A couple more days, guys. We could do 3 more before. I think we could do 3 or 4 more before the month is over. We're giving glory for the entire month of January. All right? So let's get into the last segment for today. And every Wednesday we do have Health is Happiness. And Julius, he did his last episode last week where it's the last episode of him speaking about it. He's kind of exhausted all of his information that he had. But now he's reaching out to doctors from around the world who will be able to give certain talks. And today he reached out to one of my favorite doctors of all time. This is Zinni Yin. I was the head leader while she was joining the New York Church online, but she's doing a great job. She got a new baby too, Jaden. So cute. I don't know what it is with babies, but she's going to talk today about anxiety. And I think this is something that a lot of people are going through, especially after that time of pandemic. Hope you guys really enjoyed this. This is Dr. Zinni over in Canada speaking on today's Health is Happiness on anxiety.
Hi everyone, it's another Wednesday and welcome to episode 27 of Health is Happiness. I'm your host today, Dr. Zinni from Ontario, Canada, where I've been practicing family medicine for the last 12 years. So today we're going to focus on the important topic of mental health, specifically anxiety and depression. For this episode, we're going to focus on anxiety. So as Sensing Yim has taught us, our thoughts are our life, and our brain is that important organ that helps us connect with God to stay on the right path, discern what's right and wrong, and decide how we should act. Protecting our mental health and keeping it in a good state is crucial to helping us manage and cope with our everyday stressors so that we can stay strong even in the face of difficulties. But before I jump in, this is a disclaimer that any advice or education I give here isn't meant to replace seeking medical help, seeing your doctor, counselor, psychotherapist, or taking specific medications. Instead, my goal here is to give you basic knowledge and practical tools that you can use to supplement your coping strategies or build upon the skills you already have. So first off, what is anxiety? We've all felt it, right, to some degree? Anxiety is our body and mind's reaction to something dangerous, threatening, stressful, or even something unfamiliar. It's a spectrum. Sometimes it's mild, like a sense of uneasiness, nervousness, worry, or distress. So when you see that huge, hungry animal in front of you and your heart starts pounding, your hair stand up on end, you're sweating and you're panicking because what you do next determines your fate, you get that extreme feeling of fear, right? That's anxiety. Isn't that heightened response normal? Yeah, actually that's normal. It's your mind and body warning you that there's a threat in front of you so that you can focus and act accordingly. So why is anxiety a problem then? Well, it's not. If it's temporary and appropriate to the situation, it's adaptive in that case. A certain level of anxiety helps us stay alert and aware and to focus. But what if this anxiety state were prolonged? So prolonged it became chronic, or it came on when you didn't want it to come on. Where anxiety becomes problematic is when it's constant, excessive, unwarranted, or it starts to interfere with your everyday life. Maybe you're now avoiding certain situations, not able to attend work or school or church, not able to perform well at what you normally do, or it's affecting the way you interact with others or your relationships, then that's when you know it's not just normal adaptive anxiety and you should seek treatment. Clinical anxiety is when it's no longer helpful and it's working against you now. See, when you feel stress or anxiety, your body secretes hormones including cortisol, glucagon, epinephrine, norepinephrine. These cause your heart to beat faster than normal in order to supply enough blood to the muscles, heart, and other vital organs to deal with the threat or the stressor. Your pulse and your blood pressure go up. You start to breathe much more rapidly in order to take in as much oxygen as possible with each breath. The extra oxygen sent to the brain increases alertness, so your sight, hearing, and senses become sharper. Meanwhile, the epinephrine and glucagon triggers the release of blood sugars and fats from temporary storage sites in the body. These nutrients flood into the bloodstream, supplying energy to the necessary parts of the body. But these reactions are not meant to be prolonged or constant. If your anxiety or stress is long-term, the constant cortisol and glucagon being secreted can cause elevated sugars, increase your appetite, cause weight gain, and fat buildup. The constant elevated blood pressure and pulse rate can cause damage to the blood vessels and lead to hypertension or increase your risk of heart disease and stroke. The sympathetic fight-or-flight response also suppresses the digestive tract so that you end up with stomach pain, nausea, and digestion issues. Your body and mind are constantly in overdrive due to the adrenaline, so you feel exhausted. So you can see how chronic anxiety can manifest itself as a host of daily physical symptoms. Today, I'm going to review some practical techniques to overcome feelings of anxiety and even panic attacks. This is by targeting the two parts of anxiety we know. First, we have to gain control over the physiological response of anxiety. Second, we have to correct our thoughts related to anxiety. So first is gaining control over your physiological response. You have to recognize the signs and understand how the body is reacting. Then you won't misinterpret it. When people are having anxiety or a panic attack, their heart pounds to bring more oxygen to their tissues. They start to hyperventilate in an attempt to get more oxygen to their bodies. But then they sense their palpitations, their rapid heart rate, and their shortness of breath, and they may begin to think that they're choking, having a heart attack, or about to die. They may think they're losing control over their bodies or are going crazy. These are characteristics of a panic attack. The problem is, these thoughts escalate the anxiety further and the physiological responses amplify. So it becomes a vicious cycle. So the key is to break the cycle, and the first step is to slow down the breathing. When we hyperventilate in an attempt to gain more oxygen, we end up blowing off carbon dioxide, CO2. And if this happens for too long, you'll end up blowing off too much CO2, causing the pH to rise in your bloodstream. And this actually causes narrowing of the blood vessels and less delivery of blood to your brain and your extremities. That's why in hyperventilation, you end up getting lightheaded and dizzy. You also get numbness and tingling around your mouth, in your fingertips and your toes because of a shift in electrolytes and because you're not delivering enough blood to these distant sites. So understanding this, you can acknowledge that the heart pounding, rapid breathing, and other signs are the body's physiological response to anxiety. Then, the key is to slow down the breathing so less carbon dioxide is expelled. That is the basis of why people breathe into a paper bag, in order to increase CO2 levels by rebreathing exhaled air. A slower breathing pattern is normally associated with feeling relaxed, so that feedback to your brain helps you feel more relaxed, and that in turn dampens the downstream effects of hyperventilation and de-escalates the cycle. There are a few ways to achieve slower breathing, and I'll review with you the two techniques I find most effective. One is called the physiological sigh. When we sigh, it's a deep inhalation followed by a pause and then a full expiration, letting go of all of your air. Because there is that pause, and because the expiration phase is prolonged, this naturally slows down the breathing. And once you expel all of your air, your next breath in tends to be a more normal breath. We talk about abdominal breathing a lot. This is where the diaphragm lowers to expand your lungs, and your abdomen pushes out as a consequence. We find ourselves breathing naturally or normally when we're sleeping or relaxed. I find that with the physiological sigh, the normal abdominal breathing comes naturally without hiking up your ribs or using accessory muscles to breathe. And sighing is our normal way of letting go of our stress, so it naturally relaxes you. It's also easy to learn and access when you need it. Okay, so on to the second technique. If you need a bit more structure, you might find boxed breathing effective for you. Boxed breathing is breathing as if you were tracing a box. Each side of the box is 4 seconds long. You first start off with an inhalation of 4 seconds, best through your nose. This is followed by a pause of 4 seconds. And then you exhale for 4 seconds, and you pause again for 4 seconds. This technique ensures that your expiration and inspiration phases are equal, but the 4-second pauses in between ensures that your breathing rate is not too fast. Okay, so now you know the techniques to gain control over your physiological responses. Next is controlling your mind and your thoughts. When you're having anxiety in the moment, you can do a few things. You can reassure yourself with positive self-talk that everything is going to be okay. You can use logical thinking so you're not misinterpreting your bodily symptoms as something more. You can focus on a soothing word such as peace or calm, visualize yourself in a tranquil scene or a happy place. Distract yourself or be mindful about things in the room. So focus on something else other than your anxiety. Try 5 other things in the room around you to get your mind off of your bodily symptoms. And of course, let's not forget, you can use prayer and meditation to help calm yourself. It's important to note that all of the techniques you've learned in this episode have to be practiced over and over again until it becomes automatic and easily accessible at the time you need it. There's also a very powerful technique called CBT, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. In the next episode, we'll go over in detail how we can use CBT to correct unhealthy thought patterns that provoke the feelings of anxiety and depression. We'll also talk about how we can realign our thoughts with God to overcome mental health conditions like depression. So it's now the end of this episode. I hope you've enjoyed learning about anxiety. Take care and join us for the next episode on depression.
And thank you so much, Zinni, Dr. Zinni, for another wonderful episode of Health is Happiness. I'm so thankful that we also now have real doctors coming on here, being able to explain to all of us the differences about mental health, about our bodies, how to take care of ourselves a lot better too. I really, I'm so grateful and thankful we have this many talented and amazing professionals in Providence. And go ahead, guys, leave a comment for Dr. Zinni, leave a comment for Julius. If you have any questions, put them down below, and I'm sure they will get to it by the next episode, all right? So there it is, guys. That is the end of today's Wednesday podcast. Hope everyone has an amazing Wednesday service tonight, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow on the Morning Star Drive on 117.8.
It's the Morning Star Drive 117.8. You soaring up with sky, now's the time, don't delay. I'm sitting in my ride and it's time to fly. So let's realign, just listen and fill your mind.
I'm burning with desire and the passion. Nobody can stop me when I'm like